Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get started with the before market close video, market update, and tick requests. If anybody does have any requests, as always, please let me know inside of the private chat community. And let's go. I do have a busy day. I have to go get the keys for my new condo that closes today. It's going to be my second Airbnb and short-term rental property. So going to collect those keys and going to start doing some work, putting a smart lock on, a few other things. So I got to get right to it. And pretty decent day in the MJ space. So love to see it. Lots of daily bull flags out there, so we'll jump right to it. Taking a look at the crypto space, so we are starting to just basically go sideways. A few names starting to see lower lows. 15-minute downtrends is the theme right now, and we're seeing Litecoin back under 100, but it did close over that 105 mark there on the weekly time frame. Not surprising to see us consolidate a little bit back below that 100 psychological mark. So nothing to be too concerned about here. I still think that we should be somewhere north of $200 here in mere weeks. We'll take a look at the crypto space. So on the daily time frame, we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on Bitcoin, and that would be the first time since back in mid-January. At the moment, we're looking at support here at 62,248, and then after that, the low of the dump there at 60,794. We take a look at the weekly time frame, though. It's still a weekly bull flag. We are starting weekly consolidation, confirming a daily downtrend. And key support on the weekly time frame is that 60,794.84. If we lose that, then that's going to negate the odds of a weekly bull flag. But if we break resistance and all-time high at 73,757, then that will confirm the weekly bull flag, and we're targeting about 113K from that point, which sounds like a lot, but from the actual top to where that would be is only about 54% of upside. In terms of movers and shakers on the day today in the crypto sphere, we have Hex, Cell, and AMP. And on the decline, we have Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and QKC. Switching over to our indices, so taking a look at the S&P 500, SPY ETF, weekly consolidation underway. And I mentioned this, I believe, in the POW Group private community, the POW Group bi-weekly newsletter, that we could potentially see weekly consolidation this week. And it was all about the low there at 518.40. Not a bad idea to go short there as well on a loss of that support, as we haven't consolidated since the first week of January. And it's actually another potential bull flag as long as 502 holds on the daily time frame. So in order to get that measured move, you would just go from the low to the high here, move that out to your 0.32 fib. If we do start to consolidate, backtest EMA 12 there on the weekly time frame, which is sitting at 504.15. As long as 502.11 holds, then it's a potential weekly bull flag, and we'd be targeting about 561 there on the weekly time frame for SPY. And I wouldn't be surprised at that in the least, right? Come down, cool off RSI on the weekly time frame, backtest EMA 12, see one more final blow off top moment, and rate cuts into the summer potentially. And then we see that be our top indicator, right? That final push, higher blow off top moment, euphoria, and then more than likely a multi-year bear market would ensue. But yeah, we finally lost the daily uptrend after a very clear, beautiful daily uptrend for the longest time, many, many weeks. But yeah, we had our high here, 524.11, low at 518.40, and then 524.61. We did break to a higher high, but then we came back down and lost the daily higher low there at 518.40, which means we lost the daily uptrend. Zoom out to the weekly time frame, look for weekly consolidation. That just means we're losing the low of the previous candle, and that's exactly what's happening by a couple dollars. So look at that EMA 12 support there around 504, and then, like I said, want to hold 502 to maintain the bullish continuation pattern, which is the weekly bull flag. DXY, showing a little bit of a bearish reversal candle here on the weekly time frame, but on the monthly, that's the most important time frame. Still looking for this monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross to occur, which would be the first time since way back here in August of 2020. And then that would likely create tons of upside for stocks and crypto, and that would be, like I said, something we would need to see to be confident that we're going to see the blow off top moment in the S&P 500 and the rest of the risk on asset. So gold continues to bust higher as well, and as I mentioned on the monthly time frame, was an ascending triangle, and we just continue to trend higher from here, and we're targeting about 2,700. We are now roughly a little over 16% away. Silver's over 25, and it's confirming a similar pattern, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if we went to $39 on this move, but need to get over key resistance there at $30 now. 25 psychological was a brick wall. Got over that. Now we need to see $30 be broken, and then likely be heading up to $40 in a hurry. In terms of individual tickers on the day today, we have VEGA, DPRO, and EH on the decline. We have Code, HP, and RUM. So Tesla missed its deliveries, continues to be weak. And we just had a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, but the great thing is we're coming up on key support there on the monthly time frame at 152.37 and then 150 psychological. We hit 160.51, so not a bad idea to go long here in a swing trade with a stop just below that. I mentioned that in my Moo trade, I exited my SNDL position today. I had a position in CGC as well, and then I rotated it into more SNDL, and I was up about 90% on that position today. So I did lock that trade in. I'm basically up double in my Moo trade account. So you don't need to double your, if you start with $1,000 and you double it 2,000, 2,000 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, right? It doesn't take very many doubling to get some, decent powder in there. So everybody thinks you need to start trading, day trading, swing trading with, $10,000, $100,000. It's just not true. So I'll see how quickly I can grow that account, but I'll keep everybody posted. But Tesla might not be a bad add here. Like I said, with a stop there around 144, 149, you can do a very tight stop there on that key monthly support. Might set myself a reminder here for this one. Just gonna add an alert to that. There we go. All right, moving on. We'll take a look at Canadian MJ. So we're seeing lots of upside today. Seeing people post on X and Twitter about this, do Canadian LPs have exposure to Florida now? Like, we get Florida on the ballot news, and the Canadian names are going up. What gives? It's like, man, I don't know how these people don't understand financial markets if you've been, unless you just got into the market yesterday or like last week or even last month. But if you don't know by now, when major news catalysts come out, it's the ones that are listed on the U.S. major exchange. When everybody and their dog starts flooding back into MJ stocks because they're cool again, where do you think they're going to go buy? They're going to go Robinhood. They're going to go, where's the Wall Street banks going to go play and park their money? They're not going to be trading TrueLeave at $10 million a day or $15 million a day, right? They're going to be going to the Canopies, the Auroras, the Tilrays, right? That trade hundreds and hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in one single day just on the NASDAQ, right? So let that be a lesson. But tons of upside here today. ACB just gunning it, over 42% of upside. PWR 33%. CDC 22% north of that now. SNDL over 21%. High Tide almost 20%, but sitting at just under 19%. Tilray 16. OGI 10. OGI had that raise, and we still need the monthly high or low, right? We're still at least a couple of months away before we confirm a monthly uptrend on OGI. We have our low, high, the bounce, need the higher low and the higher high. Whereas, Tilray already has its low, high, higher low. We're working on the higher high. We're very close. Tilray now only less than 20% away from confirming a monthly uptrend. I said High Tide and SNDL were probably going to be the next to do so before Tilray. Sure enough, High Tide confirmed it here today. And so did SNDL, breaking 236 resistance. We have a 253 top there. So EMA 26 in play on SNDL. That would be at 327. High Tide over its EMA 26. So if we can expect something like that for SNDL, then we'd be sitting somewhere around that $354 mark, which is why I was very confident in saying that in my video yesterday. And then also High Tide, first ever EMA 12 and 26 pull cross. No resistance till 589. This is looking fantastic. In terms of red, not a whole lot. Oxley down, but still at 5 cents, up 4 cents from a penny not too long ago. So love to see it. Yeah, we were hovering around 1 penny for the longest time, and then we got up to 7 cents. So again, this was one of those names that I said, this is definitely worth the risk. You put $1,000 into this thing at a penny, and it goes back to $2 or $3. That's a $1,000 investment into a couple $100,000. So how many of those do you need to change your life, right? Also, Huge and Love leading the decline today. And anybody who's investing in like the small cap tier, maybe not tier 2, maybe like tier 3 and very small cap names like Canara Biotech, for example. The time will come, but as of right now, MJ stocks are just starting to get cool again, and we're just starting to get some headlines. And people are going to go buying the most smallest cap names, right? They're going to buy the names that are down 90+% that are tier 1s, right? Because that's where the volume is. And, that's generally how the market works. If the whole sector's down, it's usually the large cap and the tier 1s that get bought up first. And then once those run, then we start to see profit taking and rotating into the tier 2s. We have leaders and laggards, not down to the second, the day, the minute. The sector doesn't follow together down to the day, the second, the minute, but overall on the monthly, yearly time frame, charts will look very samey, right? So just expect the momentum to continue, in my opinion, as we look towards an imminent rescheduling decision here as well. Safe banking, pretty much a done deal with Florida, in my opinion. I think that's going to get enacted into 2025, summer of. And then we have Pennsylvania. Oh man, there's lots to be excited about. Excise tax in Canada potentially switching to a percentage fee here on April 16th. So that's saved the date of the Canadian federal budget. So less than 2 weeks away now, and tons of other catalysts as well. In terms of USMJ, so we do have some green. We have BAM, FLGC, and GRWG leading the bold list today, all up over 10%. BAM back to 11 cents, up 30%, just fluctuating around that 10 to 7 cent mark. It seems actually around 12 cents to 7 cents. So it's just range bound in there. So key resistance is going to be 15.5 cents. Get over that, and we basically have no resistance up to 74 cents. We do have EMA 26 there at 15.6 cents as well. So 15.5 cents going to be very strong. Get over that, probably going to 30 cents in a hurry. On the decline, we have NEVI, which is Nevis Brands. I interviewed their CEO. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. I might look to add this one somewhere around 9 or 8 cents potentially. Could be a nice buyout target in the future as well. But nice beverage play in the U.S. IAN and SHWZ leading the decline today. Let's take a quick peek at MSOS. Again, I don't have a whole lot of time because I have to run after this. I have to take my dog for a walk and then go get my condo keys and then start moving some stuff over. And then I have a town hall with one of my other condos later on this evening as well. And I'm going to be joining the pool committee. So there's a lot going on. Daughter, just over 2 months now too. So getting right into the thick of it there. They say crying is the worst around 2 to 6 month mark. And I would have to agree. Sounds about right. My first child, so I wouldn't really know 100%, but based on everything that I've experienced, it sounds true. But yeah, MSOS, daily bull flag. It's targeting 1130. And today we broke the high of yesterday by a few pennies, so 1048, the new high. So just to give an update on that, we are now less than 8% away. And then yeah, SNDL had a picture perfect daily bull flag as well. Man, that's some beautiful technical analysis and patterns to be watching, right? That's just textbook. Low, high, higher, low. Held to 0.32 fib there at 189. We got to 191. Perfection. And then now we are about 5.5% away. Gotta love it. And again, I was buying down here, right? I was buying around the 140s. And then we even dipped a little bit lower here to around 130. I bought a little bit. I nibbled a little bit more there as well. And from the low there to where we are now, we are up roughly 94%. All right, see if anybody has any ticker requests. I know Chappie had one, so we'll take a look at that one for sure. Thanks, you bet. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. Okay, sure, let's take a look at Tesla. So yeah, Tesla, everybody and their dog loves Tesla, right? Now that it ran 30x from the lows. Once something's up 30x from the lows, right? Does 2 regular stock splits. I think it was 2. Then, it's like MJ stocks, right? When MJ stocks are at all-time highs, it's a new emerging market. I know somebody's going to say, oh, it's electric vehicle. How are you comparing that to MJ? They're not even remotely the same. It's like, I'm not comparing the actual industry. I'm comparing the technicals and the mindset and what these market makers do. And everybody and their dog loved Tesla. In 2018, when I was telling people to buy Tesla, no one liked it then because all the Wall Street banks and CNBC was saying, oh, they'll never be profitable. They're at a loss. They're never going to make a profit. They make less cars in a year than Toyota makes in a month. Now it's worth more than automakers all of them combined, right? So what does that mean when like the majority of the world doesn't like it, and then it runs 30x, right? Right? If the majority of the world doesn't like it, or the the financial Wall Street crooks are saying don't buy it because it's never going to be profitable, and then it goes and it runs 3,500%. You need to expect massive chop after that, right? And as I mentioned, it was more than likely going to see a big drawdown, saw a 75% correction. We had the monthly head and shoulders, EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. We had a monthly downtrend confirmed with a lower high and lower low. We had this monthly hidden bearish RSI divergence, and we also had a death cross with the 50-day coming down, crossing through the 200-day moving average. So, and we had a weekly bear cross of the weekly moving averages. So like, also lost the 10-week moving average, MACD bear cross, stochastic bear cross. You couldn't have found a more reason to go bearish on Tesla as soon as we confirmed that head and shoulders monthly downtrend and all those things that I just mentioned, right? And then after that, we did see a huge bounce, right? We jumped 200, almost 200%, which is great, but people are still, buying in at 300 and 400, right? People buy the top, and then it comes back to 300, and they're like, oh, I'll just hold. And then here we are down another 50% again from the high there, right? So it's just chop, and we're going to continue to range, in my opinion. And it's going to be hard to say, right? Because the S&P 500 is at all-time highs, and Tesla's, testing 52-week lows, or not testing, but very close to it. So, what if the S&P 500 were to fall 5, 10, 15, 20%, which it very well could? A 10% correction on the S&P 500 right now would be healthy and expected. So if that dropped 10%, what is my rule of thumb for individual stocks? We can expect 2 to 3% multiplier of whichever direction. So if the S&P 500 went down 10%, then we could potentially expect Tesla to go down 20 or 30%, right? So you have to be aware that it's not, the trade now is just long term, right? And in my opinion, it's basically like MJ stocks, the bear market at MJ stocks. You just dollar cost average. You just asked for Tesla, so I'm not sure if you're long, short, sitting on the sidelines. I don't know if you have an active position, short position, long position, but just going on, my complete unbiased. I don't have a position on Tesla. I'll look to add it maybe, somewhere down around $80 or whatever. But again, the S&P 500 could be setting a multi-year bull market top. It saw about 130, 140% of gains in a few years, right? When the S&P was accustomed to like 10 or 12% a year. So when we get 10 years worth of gains condensed into a few years, that's not going to be good if we enter a multi-year bear market on the S&P 500. What's that going to do for Tesla, right? So we could see, this could be this all-time high could not be potentially broken for another couple of years, potentially, especially if the S&P 500 were to enter a bear market and span, 2 to 3 years, which I think is a very high probability. So at this point, I would just be, very patient. Don't get too caught up on Tesla because it could just range for quite a while. Could bounce somewhere around that, $100 to $300 area. Do I think it's going to go to all-time highs again this cycle before the bear market in the broader market? I doubt it. It'd have to go all the way up to 415 to break it. So, anything's possible, but you also have to remember that even if you entered now and it goes back to all-time highs, that's only 144% of upside. CDC did that in like a week, right? So I just think there's better trades out there. If you're looking to hold Tesla, I would probably just, put it in a long-term account. If you're Canadian, put it in a tax-free savings account. Again, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, my own thoughts and opinions, but I would just buy it in a TFSA, right? Hold it for many, many years, and I'll only buy it on a fire sale. I bought it way back here, right? And then I was selling into here. So no, I didn't get the whole move. I could have made a ton of more money, but I was okay with the amount that I had. And like I said, I was taking risk off the table, and then I was all out way before the all-time high. I think I was out, factoring in post-split, I was out mostly around $200, right? But even entering back here, I was still, even at the 200 mark, I was up 18x. So I could have squeezed out another, I could have been up from the bottom there. I could have been up 2,000 or 3,000%, whereas I was only up like 1,300% or so, right? So it's okay. I'd rather leave money on the table and catch the buy low, sell high. No one can ever time the top, but yeah, it is looking like we could be heading to monthly oversold, like I said, specifically if we enter a bear market. So in terms of the weekly time frame here, we are trying to see a bull cross with the stochastic, which is a little bit of sign of life here, because that usually happens before we get above the 10-week moving average. Then the MACD crosses bull, and it's very close to seeing that as well. In terms of the weekly time frame, though, we're below all the weekly moving averages and seeing bear crosses there, and we're below all the daily moving averages and seeing a death cross there. So yeah, it's not looking too hot at the moment. But like I said, I think the play here is just, if you're looking to hold it and you're looking to buy it, I would just say, depending on your investment and time horizon, right? If you're retiring in 5 years, 3 years might not be the best investment. If you're looking to hold this thing for 20, 30 years, well, I would just, consider dollar cost averaging, buying a bit now, buying a bit, around 100, buying a bit around 75, 50, etc., and then hold for, multiple years. Hopefully that helps. Let's see if we can see anything else here. Yeah, it was a weekly bear flag as well. So if we go from our low to the high here, just get rid of some of these lines because there's a lot going on. Yeah, that was the one I put the alert on. So we did have an inverse head and shoulders there, but yeah, it's a weak bounce so far. If we go from our high to the low here, move it out to our 0.32 fib, it says we are targeting roughly 128. And like I said, we hit 160. So from that weekly bear flag, we came about 20% away. So yeah, watch around 125 psychological as well, right? And do we have a previous support area there as well in the price session? Yeah, we're around 130. So could see a little bit more downside here. Daily time frame coming off daily oversold. We do have a little bit of hidden bullish RSI divergence here now on the daily time with higher lows and higher highs and lower highs and lower lows. Could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on the daily time frame, but like I said, this weekly bull flag says we can see about 20% more of downside, somewhere around that 125, 130 mark, and then that could potentially mark weekly oversold. So weekly oversold might be an area as well to target here before we see a pretty sizable bounce, and likely a good area to add to any kind of long-term portfolios as well. FM copper. Okay, we can take a look at FM. Let's see here. FM. Copper on the TSX. I'm not seeing it here. Let's see. I'm not seeing it here at the moment. FM copper. First Quantum Minerals. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here, Chappie, but perhaps we can look at that one next time. If you can just confirm the ticker there. I'm not seeing it on here either. Maybe the ticker is wrong, potentially. I'm not sure. But yeah, I do have to get going, and I'm not seeing anything typed in there correcting it. So yeah, perhaps we can do that one on Friday. I'll probably do a live stream on Friday as well before the market closes. So perhaps we can do it then, or we'll do it on the next one, or just let me know inside of the community as well, the private chat community, and I can review it here later on tonight or something like that once I get back from my condo, getting the keys to my new condo. Exciting times. All right, going in it there. We got about 15 minutes left in the day today before the market closes. So go MJ, go. Great day. And the fun's only just beginning. All right. Talk to everybody in the chat room in a few minutes. Have a great night.